guys, it's Taylor, and I was tagged by Literatureads to do the Unpopular Opinions book tag. I will try to leave the main, or the creator of this tag's channel down in the description below, and I will also leave the names of the people I tag in the description below. I just need to go through these people's channels and make sure they haven't already done this tag because I don't want to be redundant. So, let's get started because you guys are probably going to hate me after this. Question 1. A popular book or series that you did not like. For this one, I'm going to have to go with, and don't hate me, don't hate me, don't hate me, Aristotle and Dante discover the secrets of the universe. I feel like I'm the only person that just did not like this book. And before people get, angry because they think I don't like the romance aspect of it, the element of it I have no problem with. I still think that Will Grayson is John Green's best book, and we're going to get to John Green later because he only wrote half of it, and that says a lot. But it's not the fact that they're gay, it's not the fact that they're Latino because I'm Latina. It's more the fact that I don't know if the author has ever actually met a teenage boy, because the way they talk, all philosophical, like they're trying to actually discover the secrets of the universe, for me, I don't understand at all why they decide to talk about this, because I know when I was a teenager, I wasn't trying to discover my place in the universe or anything. I was literally just trying to pass my AP exams. I don't know. I really feel like I'm missing out on something because I hated the writing style. I wasn't a huge fan of the characters of Aristotle and Dante. I thought they were both special snowflakes, and I don't like that. I also don't like the trope that I see a lot in contemporary teen fiction and even fantasy and other books, where it's one regular old Joe and then some special snowflake comes and for some reason is inexplicably interested in this regular Joe, even though they are basically a god on Earth. And yeah, the romance begins even though they don't have any chemistry, and that was the other thing. I couldn't figure out why they were interested in each other. I just didn't get it. Number 2, a popular book or series that everyone else seems to hate, but you love. For this one, I'm going to go with Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. I don't think people hate this book. I just think they don't really care for it because some characters are apparently out of character, or things happen that they didn't want to happen. But I was shocked when I found out that I was kind of in the minority because I loved every minute of this book. I raced through it. I loved it. I love this book so much. Maybe it's because I'm not that big of a Cale fan. It's not that I hate him, it's just that I don't particularly care what happens to him. He's not my favorite character. So yeah, I really like this book, and I feel like I'm the only one that really does. Number 3, a love triangle where the main character ended up with the person you did not want them to end up with, or an OTP that you didn't like. Okay, spoiler alert for Queen of Shadows, everyone. So yeah, I'm gonna hold up this book until the spoilers are over, and once you see the book go down, then you can watch it again. So I don't like Rowan. I don't know if I'm pretty sure I'm in the minority here. I got their friendship. I thought that they were mates or whatever. I thought it was more like a friendship soulmate thing, and I was really on board for that. And then it turned into a romance, and I hated it. It's not that I hate it, it's more the fact that their relationship started off with him basically punching her. And before people say that, oh, well, she provoked him, she was saying really mean and terrible and cruel stuff to him. Yeah, but it wasn't really a fair fight. She, at the moment when she was insulting him in Air of Fire, she was basically a human female, and he was a giant fey male. His strength is considerably more than hers, so he didn't even know if she could take that kind of punch, and you really just shouldn't go around punching people. It comes off as, I don't want to say the relationship is abusive, because from that point on, really, it's not awful, but that one punch, I cannot get over that punch, and I hate the fact that Selena took it, and that she decided to start a relationship with him because every time I read a scene with the two of them together, I get flashbacks to that scene where he punched her in the face. Number 4 is a popular book genre that you hardly reach for. For that one, I'm going to have to go with nonfiction. My nonfiction shelf is all the way up here, and I don't think I've read much of it. I've read some of the writing help books, and I read How to Be a Feminist by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, and I've read The Year of Living Biblically by A.J. Jacobs, but other than that, I really haven't read any nonfiction. Some of the books up here are actually school textbooks that I wanted to keep because I thought I'd read them later, and I haven't, but I still want to keep them because they were interesting. But yeah, my head tends to be rooted in fantasy and things that don't exist in the real world. Number 5, a popular or beloved character that you do not like. Do I have to keep on talking about James Potter and Sirius Black? I don't like them. And before people talk about how they grew up, I'm talking about Marauders area, James Potter and Sirius Black. I'm sorry, but they were awful, and whenever it astounds me when people say that they want, like a Marauders era Harry Potter story, it really astounds me because I feel like they assume it's going to be a bunch of boyish adventures and, funny rule breaking, and it's not. If you go back to Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, to Snape's memories, you'll see that they attacked unprovoked. They just attacked a defenseless Snape. And yeah, maybe Snape was a jerk, but that doesn't mean you just go after someone when they never picked a fight with you. And he wasn't. He was off on his own, and you thought it was a fun thing to do, and to basically undress him in front of everyone. That scene where they had him suspended, and then they just kept on, they stripped him of his pants, and they might have stripped him of his boxers, and it's awful, okay? I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. And I don't like the Marauders era anything much because the Marauders were jerks, and I hate all of this, love that they're getting, and how they refuse to acknowledge that the Marauders were not like a Fred and George. They were awful, awful people. Number 6, a popular author that I just can't seem to get into. I have 3 John Green books, and I don't particularly care for his writing. And this kind of harkens back to my Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe rant, where I don't like this trope of super philosophical teens because I don't think it's relatable. I don't think it's realistic. I feel like these are people who are so removed from being teenagers because, and this isn't to say teenagers are dumb. I was one a couple months ago. It's more that I don't understand why these teenagers are so smart. What super schools are they going to? I read The Fault in Our Stars, didn't like it. I didn't like Augustus Waters. I thought he was pretentious, and yeah, just pretentious. I didn't like it. I read Looking for Alaska. I hated Alaska. I hated most of the characters. I hated how all of these characters have quirks that don't make sense. The Colonel who drinks milk and vodka and calls it ambrosia. You've got Takumi, the guy who raps pretty terribly too. He's not a good rapper. I've read these dope lyrics, and they're not good. And I do have Will Grayson, which I actually read and I really liked, but he only wrote half of it, which I think says a lot about his writing. Maybe I can take it in droves, because I do really, really love his writing style. I think it's his characters that I cannot stand. They're so annoying, and they're so shallow, and they think that they're smarter than everyone else, when I don't think they're that smart, or if they are, they're pretentious. Augustus Waters, who buys cigarettes but never, lights it and puts them in his mouth, and he talks about, being on the edge of death. Who does that? Who does that? And, the fact that he, they talk about, oh, that's disgusting, you have cancer, why would you smoke? And he talks about how he doesn't light them, but you still bought them. You still gave money to the tobacco industry, so, yeah, you contributed to the tobacco. I'm sorry, I don't get it. Number 7, a popular book trope that you're tired of seeing. So, a while ago my answer probably would have been love triangles, but this has actually been a good year for love triangles. Like, every love triangle I've read has been symbolic or made sense or, like, doesn't last that long and is resolved pretty quickly with everyone having agency and everyone actually talking about things. So I'm going to have to go with the brooding, tortured male. And why am I going with this? Because I've seen brooding and tortured male trope I've seen it done so well, especially with recent in A Court of Mist and Fury, but other books like Twilight and 50 Shades of Grey, where they're so melodramatic and they take up the entire book with their woe is me, like hit a piñata, do something fun. Even Rhysand, who is struggling from PTSD and depression and all these other side effects from his time under Amarantha's rule, he knows how to have fun, even if it hurts. And I wouldn't understand why these female characters would flock to these guys who are just so sad and mopey all the time. And I can only assume it's because they want to fix them, which I also hate. I hate that trope so much, because you should be worried about, you shouldn't always have to be someone else's therapist, and you shouldn't start off a relationship as someone's therapist, because then it's not, I think, a healthy relationship. Number 8, a popular series that you have no interest in reading. For this one, I'm going to have to go with Eon by Alison Goodman. I think there are 2 books in the series. It's a duology, and I read 60 pages into the first book. I don't understand the hype. I didn't like it. I actually actively hated it. None of the characters were likable, and there were just some really crass moments of, slut-shaming, and I could not get with it. I didn't like it, and it made me almost angry on a physical level that I wasted time reading it. So I have no intention of finishing the first book or reading the second book. I heard it gets better. And number 9. The saying goes, the book is always better than the movie. But what movie or TV show adaptation do you prefer more than the book? For that one, I'm going to have to go with Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. I've talked about this book enough on this channel. Honestly, I probably should do a review video eventually, because I just have so many thoughts, and I really need to get this rant out in the open, because I sent my poor roommate like a 10 text long rant / essay on the biggest plot point of this book that I hate, and I'm so happy that the movie took it out, and I'm happy that the movie just did, I liked it so much better than the book, and I understand how the movie can be controversial with the fact that they didn't even bother looking at disabled actors to play Will Traynor, or the fact that it didn't really feature any other disabled people for Will to maybe talk to and try to get a different perspective on the many options people suffering from paralysis have. That is definitely a flaw within the movie. However, the cinematography is gorgeous. The actors, even Sam Claflin, who does play Will Traynor, the actors are all very talented, and they handle the material well. And I actually really actively shipped Lou and Will in the movie. They laughed, they cried. There were just a lot of moments where I could see the obvious chemistry, whereas in this book, I could not. And I liked Lou so much better in the movie than I did in the book. In the book, she was just so whiny and honestly pretty pathetic, whereas in the movie, she was clumsy and awkward, but also funny and endearing, and, she wasn't really dumb, and she was actually kind of happy with the way she dressed, and they got rid of that dumb, I hate that plot line, and I'll probably go into a video about the plot line, or my biggest problem with Me Before You, the book. And one last thing about the film. The film takes out a lot of the other issues surrounding characters in this book to focus more on the relationship between Lou and Will, and Will's ultimate decision, which I'm not going to spoil now, but the movie gives more time to focus on that, because the book is just so heavily bogged down with all of these issues, like sexual assault and infidelity and so many things, and it becomes cluttered, and I really shouldn't rant anymore. I'm probably gonna pass out if I do. And that was the Unpopular Opinions book tag. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I really hope you like this video. And once again, I will leave the link to the original tag, to Literatureads who tagged me, thank you again, and to the people I tag who I still haven't decided yet because I was, I didn't, I'm sorry, I should have, but I was tired. I will leave the links to their channel and their names down in the comments below. Thank you so much again for watching, guys, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!